Why do we fight? What are we fighting for? Our military men and women have committed their lives to defending us, to laying down their lives if necessary. They believe in the United States and what it stands for. But morale is low. If you ask a veteran, why do we fight, they'll tell you theirs is not to reason why, theirs is but to do or die. The phrase, freedom is not free, makes people go back and fight again upon waking up each day. But what does this mean? If freedom is not free, then you can't have freedom, even when you're supposedly free. It's a paradox. Actually, it's a lie. Let me explain what freedom is. Freedom is your birthright. If you exercise your freedom, you are free. If you don't act, don't stick up for yourself, if you don't use your voice or your expressive abilities, if you don't vote, you are ceding your freedom to someone who will take over, take control of your life. The military routinely does this to its people so that they think they don't have a choice. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Everyone has a choice every day to exercise this freedom. It's only when you stop exercising your freedom that you lose it. And many people have lost their will to do anything about all the misery because they feel hopeless. I'm saying, please, save yourself from this tyranny, from believing that, quote, freedom isn't free. Go out and vote for a decent human being who will put your well-being above a government contract to make more weapons. The weapons of mass destruction are right here in our own country. Do we really need them when we are being eaten alive by a cancer inside our very own borders? Eisenhower warned in his farewell speech, "In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes." If the reason we are fighting is for democracy, then it's ironic that we do not live in a democracy. I cannot stress this enough. Our votes are not getting counted properly. If we allow the ones who control our ballot boxes to flip the switch and make the loser win, we will never change this thing. We will have to stand and be counted if our government refuses to count us properly. I urge you to stand at your polling place until every vote is counted correctly at 8 p.m. Then take every means necessary to stand at your state's capital and demand the governor recount the vote if necessary. If I were quiet and did not act, am I not assuring my children and grandchildren to inherit a hell of a place where we ignore droughts, floods, and extreme temperatures, the melting of ice caps, the rising of the seas, and instead focus on money above all else, even if it means creating a world where buzzard drones fly overhead, terrorists to our communities or those of our friends? If I were quiet and did not act, I would be a party to this violent behavior that shapes our world. Freedom is measured by your vote, your voice, being able to make a difference. It is your only opportunity left to organize a peaceful protest of the powers that be. If we can't trust our government to count our votes, are we really free? Then I ask you again, what are we fighting overseas for? Santa?
Good question. I'm not sure why we're fighting overseas. I don't think we should be fighting overseas. I personally like to see the Sheehan rule applied. It's on your website, rightindependent.org. It's on my website, my website, SantaClausForPresident.com. She would like to see whoever wants to go to war, go to war. If Congress declares war, the President declares war, then they should be the first ones drafted into that war and be required to serve. I think that would stop wars pretty quickly. The founding fathers actually did that. They went to war. They lost their assets. They lost a lot of things in the process, but they did it on a personal level. And as a monk in my own life, I'm called to love God and love my fellow human being. So for me, those are the two most important things to do. And that's one of the reasons I am running as an independent candidate. And I would suggest that intelligent people who are actually looking at the issues and listening to the various candidates, independent or not, that they go with their heart. Part of my slogan is restoring America's heart and soul. And we pretty much lost it. And I would like to see that change immediately. So thank you for the opportunity.
Okay.
Independent.org.
Okay. Thank you. Don?
Yes. Well, you're talking about the statement that Eisenhower made. Well, I was 28 years old at that time. You may not have even been born yet. You know, this is in the 1950s. I have watched the downgrading of our manufacturing over all of these years. You have to be old enough to have seen the overall picture of what's happening in America. The closing of some 47,000 factories in America between 2002 and 2007 as manufacturing left our nation to go overseas. And we have put so many people out of work that there are no jobs for them. There's no use spending money on job training because there are no jobs out there for these people. Many of us got out of school 18, 21 years old. We went to work in the factory assembling cars or consumer items, you know, and it's been war, you know, one kind after another to keep us, you know, on our toes all the time. And because I live in Lancaster, California, I'm around Air Force Plant 42 and Edwards Air Force Base, and I see all of the military manufacturing going on around here. That's all paid for with tax dollars. We have to stop spending the tax dollars on non-productive war material and put people back to work, you know, making consumer items where there's a profit, where we're all exchanging dollars.
Oh, okay.
One of the problems with, I'll say, stores like Walmart and, you know, the large chain stores, that when you spend your dollar for there, that dollar goes back to the corporate office somewhere else in the United States. It doesn't circulate in the community. And where some of these large retailers, Kmart and all the others, have moved in, the small family stores that circulated money in that community between all the businesses, those stores are closed up and gone. Those people aren't on unemployment because as a shop owner, they don't get unemployment.
Okay.
People losing their homes, you know, thousands a day all over the nation. We have to stop this and do something. Put America back.